Welcome everyone to tonight's session. Tonight we're going to talk about stakeholders, how to identify stakeholders and their expectations. So, Mr. Charles, I hope you've been enrolled properly in all your boot camps. Can you hear me? All right. So, like I said, we're going to look at stakeholders and their expectation. So we do that through what we call stakeholder analysis, the analysis of stakeholders to understand stakeholders and their various expectations. In project, we have different types of stakeholders. We have internal stakeholders, we have external stakeholders, we have high influential stakeholders, non-influential stakeholders, we have interested stakeholders, we have low interest stakeholders, we have high power stakeholders, we have low power stakeholders, we have organizational stakeholders, we have project stakeholders. With all this, you can see there is a lot of model up with stakeholder activity. So you have to make sure you analyze and understand the stakeholders you need to work with. And then when you understand those stakeholders you need to work with, then you start understanding their need. You might have 5 stakeholders you are going to work with, but these 5 stakeholders might have different 5 needs differently they want to achieve from that particular project. You find out that some of them have power, high influence, that it can even lose your job while dealing with them. You find out that some of them are very interested in your project. They really want to help you. They want to a success. You find out that some of them, they are not interested. They have power. They are not even interested. What concerns them is that they are just doing their job. You have some people, they don't have any power. They don't even have interest. All they want is to make sure that they are coming to work every day and earning their daily living. And that's it. And some people have interest. They want to know everything. But in most cases, we don't even value those people because we might see them as just ordinary people. But they have serious vested interests. So we use what we call stakeholder analysis. We'll be taking all these stakeholders one by one and understanding them. And all of them, you tailor the way you communicate with them to get the best out of them. The way you are communicating with stakeholder B is going to be different from the way you communicate with stakeholder A or C in order to get the best. So these people are the main people. You have to be extremely careful while dealing with them. You might learn a technology and master that technology and can use it anyhow you want. Some of the technologies we are going to use, like let's say Visio, Draw.io. For instance, now let's say Draw.io, which we are going to start using very soon. We want to use Draw.io, learn how to use it to create flow charts, process map. You might master it that nobody knows how to use it more than you. But you cannot tell me you've mastered a human being. These are stakeholders. You cannot master them. That moment you are thinking there, I've mastered this guy, then that's when the guy will show you different colors you've never seen. So that's why it is important. most projects fail not because the project managers or the business analysts do not understand the technology. It's not because they don't understand the processes. It's not because they don't understand techniques. It's because they fail to master the stakeholders' behaviors. When you go for interview as a project manager or as a business analyst, one of the things they are going to ask you is if you claim that you're an experienced business analyst. They will always ask you, have you met a difficult stakeholder? How do you manage difficult stakeholder? In some of these projects you've handled, how did you manage difficult stakeholders? And this question is a £1 million question. A lot of people fail this question. The only way to understand this question is to understand who are the stakeholders first. How do you identify their needs? Once you understand the stakeholders that are involved, understand their need, understand how to manage them, then that stakeholder stop being difficult. You give them what they want, and they give you what you want. And that is it. But stakeholders tend to be difficult when you didn't understand them. They tell you, call me by 12, and you start calling them by 9. You keep on giving them, you come out by 9 o'clock while maybe the person is still sleeping, or maybe the person is in a meeting, and you call the person didn't pick, you call the person again, while the person sees phone, you've seen you giving him 10 missed calls. For what? And even the person did not want you to call by 9, say call me by 12. We are already getting on the stakeholders' nerves. You're already beginning to irritate the stakeholder by that kind of behavior, attitude. You don't listen. You want to gather requirements, so should I run away? That's the way they are going to look at it, because they've handled so many business analysts. So it's not like your own is a different. Don't think you are so special. But some of us will feel we are special. Well, it might be special to you because this might be the first time you are doing the work as a business analyst. So you are so excited, and but for them, they've seen different types of BAs. So you coming to make your own so different, they don't understand this is your first time. So you have to always comport yourself, understand them, play by their rule, and get what you want. If you don't play by their rule, I've seen a stakeholder in a project I've managed. I scheduled a meeting with this stakeholder, and this stakeholder gave me, he said he's not in the position to give me the information I want. He said he's the head of the unit. Yeah. And he said he left that position in that organization 10 years ago. I should go and look for the person who currently sits there, because nothing he can do for me. It took me time to get on that particular person. The person that's supposed to do that's actually doing the job, was supposed to gather requirements. I got in touch with the person. The person said, call me back by Friday so we can have a meeting. On that Friday, I'm trying to reach just like 1 hour to the time the lady gave to me. I got a message from her. Sorry, Mr. Charles, I'm starting my annual leave, 2 weeks annual leave today. I will see you when I come back. Thank you. No more. You see, that is it. So the point here is they don't send you. That lady knows she's going on annual leave for 2 weeks. And she waited on the last day just as she's carrying her luggage on vacation. And that's when she just telling me, but she told me we can meet on that particular day. Then the other stakeholder that can say, yes, he is no longer in that position to give me what I want, that he's above the kind of information I'm looking for. This is the way they are tossing me around. But you cannot raise your voice. You have to still be calm. You have to still feel like nothing is happening. You know? So I have to go and report back to my line manager. And fair enough, my line manager said, okay, let's wait till she comes back from annual leave. So I have to move to another deliverable. And I put that particular one aside, waiting. So these are the way you deal with the stakeholders. You meet different, these are difficult stakeholders we're talking about. You can meet so many of them in different ways. They will not even agree to have a meeting with you. So that's why it's important to understand them very well if you need to make progress, because we, the BAs, we're not like project managers. You see, one thing with the project managers is that by the time they are starting the project or they are joining the project, most of them, the project has been concluded. So the requirement is very clear. What needs to be done is already there. You, the business analyst, you've already arranged the requirements, plan to the extent that the stakeholder, the project manager is just come to do project planning and the rest of them. Their job is streamlined. But the dirty job, what I call it dirty job, is that you are the one that need to dive into the matter to find out what is wrong, understand what is wrong from different sources. For instance, they say that organizations' sales have been going down for the past 2 years. And now we have been brought in to find out why the sales is going down. That is very deep. You need to dive deep into the matter. You need to look for the root cause of the matter. Why sales? You might not find any there, so you need to go look for the information. There's no place you see the information there waiting for you. You need to source, you need to excavate, you need to deep dig different sources, meeting people. You are just like somebody who is investigating a crime, somebody who is investigating a very serious crime. At times, people might not even want to open up as you're investigating why sales is going down or why some issues are happening. You might be looking for trouble because some people might have set up that situation to become a source of income for them. While you are trying to investigate, you see indirectly you have started probing some people and they are not going to like you. That's why you want to start chasing them around. Gather requirements. Some of them will be dribbling you because what you want to uncover is what they don't want to be uncovered. So that is it. When I was a local government chairman some time ago. I found out that the council were struggling to pay salary, just salary, talk more of carrying out reasonable projects. And when you see the amount of allocation coming in, that's a lot of allocation. You see the council is getting, at times the council will get 200 million, but at the end of the day, when they do the deduction, everything, you see there is nothing left to even pay the salary. That's serious matter. And I say, no, this cannot be. You know, I have to wear my BA jacket and remove my jacket as a council chairman because it's a serious matter. And in Nigeria, nobody knows about all this kind of investigation, business analysis. They don't know. So I have to do it alone. So I have to start meeting people, carrying out a requirement gathering, digging. As you are digging, so you are making enemies because you are beginning to find out, you are looking for serious crime. You are trying to solve a situation that can cause your head. But I keep on digging till I found out there's a lot of things going on, padding, ghost workers, a lot of things were packaged. And by the time I started resolving the issues, the first part of it, I was able to start saving almost 50 million every month from the council from that. But this, nobody is ready to do that. And another thing is that I wasn't just a conventional business analyst. I've got some immunities. I have some protection. I can penetrate because of my power, But ordinary BA, if you're just an ordinary business analyst, you dig, you find out you are just like hitting a brick wall, nothing about me. I can penetrate, I can meet the governor, I can meet anybody I want to meet because of my power, and that's what I'm able to resolve. So you business analysts solving problem, trying to gather requirements, it's going to be difficult. You need to know how to handle meander, play politics with the stakeholders in order to penetrate. And that is what is going to bring us to the main topic, understanding stakeholders. These are the big people in your project, in the organization. If you need to solve problems, you need to understand these people very well. Yeah. If you do not understand them, you might be talking to the wrong people. And when you are talking to the wrong people, you are going to be getting wrong answers. Wrong answers will lead you to the wrong direction. So, stakeholder analysis, which is the way we are going to use, the technique we are going to use to understand the stakeholders and their expectation, is what we call stakeholder analysis. We analyze the stakeholders. It's a critical step in the project management that involves identifying individuals, groups, or organizations affected by the project and assessing their needs, interests, and influence. This analysis enables the project managers and team to better understand the expectation of each stakeholder and plan for effective engagement, communication, and conflict resolution throughout the project's life cycle. So we are going to be engaging a lot of people. You need to understand different types of people. But how do you get to understand the right people to talk to? That is the number one. You need to understand the right people before you start engaging them. So for you to understand Then you need to understand who are even the stakeholders in the organization. Because the project or the issue you are trying to solve is just a small portion within the organization. Within that small portion, there are their own stakeholders. Let's use, for instance, you are in Nigeria and you want to solve a problem in particular local government. Then you need to understand Nigeria very well. For instance, if you've not been to Nigeria very well, you need to understand Nigeria very well before you even start talking about understanding that local government. For instance, it's local government. Before you start thinking, who am I going to talk to in this? You need to understand Nigeria very well. The projects you are going to handle is going to be like that. Some of you are coming to UK to study. You've never been to UK. You just hear the UK. And you need to understand how UK operates. You need to understand even where the flights, the airport you are going to land, how you are going to even take a cab from the airport or track before you even start thinking about your university. You need to even find a place to stay in UK before you can say, where is my uni? Then you go to uni. From the uni, you then see, where do I do my enrollment? You start asking questions. You know, they start directing you where to do the enrollment. You enter the enrollment office. You start asking, who is the enrollment officer? From there, they start enrolling you. They send you to this place. They send you till you register and become a student. It's not that so easy. It's going to take some time. That is the way every project or every situation looks like. So the first thing here, you see all these people, this example of stakeholder in an organization. All these people within an organization where you work, they're all stakeholders. We have employees, we have senior executives, you have shareholders, we have customers, we have suppliers, we have contractors, we have end users, we have families of employees, we have investors, we have lenders, we have partners, we have trade union, we have regulators like CBN, we have community groups like Egbesu Boys and the Job Boys in the Niger Delta. We have the media, we have the government. All these people are stakeholders. When you want to handle any project, these are the people you might come across one or two or three of these people during the project. And you need to give some of them what they want in order to get what you need. Yeah. So all of them, even families of employees, they are stakeholders. How are they stakeholders? Because anything that affects the employee has affected the family. Or anything that affects the family has affected the employee. And when the employee, something affects a member of the family, maybe your wife puts to bed, then the company will give you paternity leave. You have to go away for 2 weeks to look after your family. Has it not affected the organization? These 2 weeks you are going to stay. If you are a very important person, like a BA, the company might go and recruit a BA that will cover you for that 2 weeks. So this might now cost them extra money because your wife put to bed. And as you are going on paternity leave, they are going to pay you as well. Or you wake up in the morning and your child is not feeling well. You have to take excuse. You need to call them. I'm not coming in. Your child is not feeling well. You need to take your child to the hospital. So that's how the child indirectly or your wife indirectly is a stakeholder to this organization. So you need to understand this organogram, the structure. Once you understand them, then you then come to project stakeholder. You need to understand who and who are involved in this project. You need to solve a problem. Anytime you want to solve a problem for organization, that is a project. Any single project problem you want to solve, it becomes a project. Because to solve a problem, you need to develop a solution that solve the problem. And that solution, developing that solution is the project. So let's see the project stakeholders. The first one we'll see here is organizational stakeholders. The second one is project stakeholders. So in a project, everybody we see in the organization are not project stakeholders. Some of them might make it to the project stakeholder, but don't go and make the mistake. Why I'm doing this? Because I want to create a distinction of the kind of stakeholders we are going to be engaging. I'm creating clear distinction between project stakeholders and organizational stakeholders. Organizational stakeholders is so wide. Project stakeholders are very small people, you know, that projects have one way or the other affecting them. So make sure you understand these two people. If you do not understand these people, these two groups, when they employ you as a business analyst, you might be tempted to start looking for the CEO to gather requirements from the CEO, which some of you here, after explaining this, some of you, the first assignment I'll give them to gather requirement, they start asking for the CEO. For what? What concerns CEO with your project? Now they ask you to implement a CRM system. A CRM system is a system, a solution within sales and marketing department. So the highest people there can be the sales manager or the marketing manager or the head of unit marketing. Yeah. Or maybe director, but it just within that marketing. Now you are supposed to implement a CRM. You go and start looking for the stakeholder. The question you want to understand from the stakeholder, the goal and the mission of that organization, when the organization was established. Is this organization registered with CAC? Yes, I've seen that a lot from you guys. What have that got to do with implementation of CRM system? With this is clear deviation. You have deviated. As a matter of fact, if you manage to penetrate and get hold of the CEO, you have created another problem for yourself, because by the time you finish engaging with the CEO and asking all these questions, and the CEO asks you, why all these questions? You tell CEO, because we're implementing a CRM system. We want to find out, we're gathering requirement that will help us to implement the right solution, maybe CRM system for the sales department. And the CRO will, then if somebody like me, I will try to ask question, who hired this business analyst? How do they hire this? Did they interview this business analyst before hiring the business analyst? Because I don't see how registering the company with the CAC should be because this is company money. The person we paid is already spending our resources on irrelevant matter. Trying to have a meeting with me is money, because as you're having a meeting with me, the CEO, You are being paid for that time, and that is waste of resources for me. So the people you should interview should be people within the environment. This project, let's say CRM system, within the sales and marketing, you should be looking for sales manager, marketing manager, sales rep. These are the kind of people you should be looking for, because these are the people within the environment trying to understand their challenges, like lead management, marketing campaign. These are where they might be having issues. They are not converting enough lead, and because of the fact they are not converting enough lead, we are not having shortage of customers. And this could be the reason why the sales keep going down, because no more customers. And even the customers we have, we are not treating them well. We are not understanding their need, and they are leaving. So this has nothing to do with CAC registration, company, this and that, like some of you have done in the past. Okay, if you are looking at project stakeholders, we can see people like this. We see the project leader, which is the project manager. You see the project team members, which could be the business analysts, the developers, and the rest of them. The process owners. The process owners, what are the processes within maybe say CRM? We see lead management. Lead is a serious business in sales and marketing. Lead. If you are not getting lead, then how can you get customer? So we can say lead managers or maybe sales manager or process owners are lead managers, sales managers, sales rep. This could be the process owners. And you have people who work on the process. Typical example of people who work on the process are sales rep. Every day they are always working on sales activities, sharing, distributing lead campaign, and things like that. So this could be people working on the process. Then we'll have customers of the process. Who are the customers of our company? These customers are customers. Then we'll have suppliers. Suppliers are those who are supplying goods, supplying us raw materials. For instance, if you are doing bakery, a bread business, see some people who are supplying you raw materials like flour and the oil, baking oil, and the rest of them. These are people who call suppliers of raw material. You can equally call them vendors. So these are stakeholders as well. And you have operations manager. The operation manager can be, these are departmental managers like that. And we'll have financial managers, like people that are going to be releasing money, for you during the project. And we'll have procurement managers. So many things in a project you need to buy. You do not go to the market to buy it yourself. You procure materials through procurement manager. We have HR and training managers. Anytime you want to hire a new person for your project, for instance, you're a project manager and one of your developers decided to leave, you cannot just go and put advertisement you are looking for a developer. You need to report the issue to the HR and tell them the kind of the experience, the job specification of the developer you are looking for. And they are the people that need to put it on advert. They are the people that need to put it on LinkedIn or Upwork and carry out the first phase of the interview. And when they feel, yes, they need to get you involved, that's when you see that now they've invited you for interview, because it's time to get the hiring manager. So you that working on the project could be the hiring manager. So that is how that is done. So you see, that's why these kind of people are project stakeholders. We have performance managers. We equally have senior executives. All these people put together could. That doesn't mean that all these people are listed in the project automatically. Whenever you are working on a project, you start looking for them. No, you need to use your ingenuity and professionalism to decide who is a stakeholder and who is not a stakeholder. For instance, now you are now hired to implement, organize, help the project manager to organize a birthday party for the governor. So you see, it's a high-profile birthday party. They don't need no nonsense, and that's why they are now engaging you as a business analyst to help to analyze and get things done. So in this case, you see, it does not require the input of maybe a HR or these other people. So you decide the kind of people who makes it in your project. But most cases, they are going to come from this kind of people. So the kind of projects you are implementing will determine the kind of stakeholders that are going to involve. The purpose of stakeholder analysis. Number one, understanding the expectation. It helps to identify and understand the need and expectation of stakeholders, need, expectation, and concerns of stakeholders. Anytime they want to implement a project or an initiative, they have a need. So you need to understand it when you have identified them. Manage influence. Determine which stakeholder have the most influence on the project and plan to manage their expectation accordingly. The way you are going to manage project sponsors' need is different from the way you are going to manage the sales rep or the laborer working within that. No, these are two important. They are important people, but some people are more important than others in a project, and that's why they call them most influence, high influence. If you don't manage it the way it should be, you are going to have a problem. You cannot use one approach. You cannot use one channel, one communication methodology. It's not gonna work. Some of these people might want to be communicated in a certain way. So you cannot use the way you communicate to projects, stakeholder A to communicate with project stakeholder. You might have a problem when you try to. So the communication approach must be customized to suit everybody's need. Another important of stakeholder analysis is it helps us in enhancing communication, which I've already stated. Develop a clear communication plan based on the interest and need of each stakeholder, and aligns goals, ensure the project objectives align with the stakeholders' interests and help in securing their support. Every time within the project, as the project is going on, till the project comes to an end, in every stage of the life cycle, you need their support. You need their support. Anytime you start losing their support, then be ready for your impeachment. You may start packing your bag if you are losing the support of the key stakeholders. Clear example is what is happening in Rivers State. You know, the governor has been given the mandate to lead the state for 4 years. And along the line, they started losing the support of the key stakeholders of the state. And they start kicking back. The stakeholders start complaining. The governor do not carry them along in key decision makings. Don't try to be like that. It's not gonna work. Every project is just like that. We have to drop sentiment. Some of you might, it's not. Forget sentiment. I'm analyzing from the professional aspect of the project. You have an agreement. Somebody hired you, like me now. I'm the HOD of this organization. I want to implement a CRM system. I'm the one who secured the funding to implement this project. And I hired you. I brought you into this organization. And you want to sideline me in my own project. It's not going to work. You are going to leave. Simple. That's what's happening in Fubara's case. There's no way Fubara is going to be a governor without the project sponsor, which is Nwike. Yes, there is no way. Who is Fubara? Fubara cannot be governor. So he hired Fubara to become the governor. Yes, whether you like him or not, he has the power. He has the influence to bring anybody to do the job, to be the governor for the next 4 years for the state. That is the structure. And the governor came in and said, now he is now higher than the person who hired you to do the job. And he removed you. And simple. So anytime in your project, whether you are a business analyst or a project manager, try to understand the need and interest of the person who brought you in. The moment you want to do things without their support, then you might start looking for trouble. So in order to avoid difficult stakeholders, everybody who is now saying that Nwike is difficult, Nwike is this and that, Nwike is that, but that is the situation. That is the route you came in from. If Fubara had gone on his own, go and went and ran election on a neutral ground without the influence of Nwike and win election, it wouldn't be this. If you go to Abia State, you cannot hear anybody dragging Alex Otti because they came through the different routes. Alex stand for the election and stood his ground and won the election, won the mandate of the people. But the other person went to Nwike and won the mandate of Nwike, not the mandate of the people. So Fubara is serving Nwike while Alex Otti is serving the people. So you cannot enjoy what Alex is enjoying because it didn't come through the way Alex came. Simple. If you look at what happened in Anambra State in those days of Chris Ngige and Chris Oba, yes, Chris Oba brought in Chris Ngige to become the governor. And when the Chris Ngige went in there, and decided to forget the key stakeholder, the sponsor who brought you in there. He started suffering. They kidnapped him. They did all sorts of things. I'm not saying it's right, but that is the curtain where so many of us started struggling in our project, because you must understand the agreement in that project. And eventually, they removed Grace Ngige. And P2B came in. The way P2B came in is different from the way Grace Ngige came in. And you didn't hear that anybody kidnapped P2B. You didn't hear that P2B was chased around by any group of people. No. So that is it. That is the way stakeholder management understand the influence of these big boys. Wherever you are, whichever project you are managing, understand it. That is the way you are going to have smooth support. Even when you are trying to gather requirements, that's the only way they can talk to you and tell you what you want to listen, what will help your project. So let's look at various just steps for conducting stakeholder analysis. To conduct stakeholder analysis, like I said, the first thing is to identify who are the stakeholders. Looking at the stakeholder groups I've listed above, then you have to identify who are my stakeholders. List all people, groups, or organizations that will be affected by the project. Typical stakeholders include customers, vendors, sponsors. I can see here sponsors. I say typical stakeholders. Do not play around with these people called sponsors. It doesn't matter the kind of project, you can never win. I'm telling you, whether you're a business owner, you're a project manager, and you came in, they call them sponsors because without them, that project cannot exist. So be careful when you deal with people like this. We have regulators, regulatory bodies. You cannot play with them because without them, the project is going to have a serious issue. For instance, CBN, anything you are doing within the financial industry in Nigeria, you must understand what they want and give it to them in order to be a successful project. Without that, it's not going to work. Team members, you might step on some of your team members too and then go scot-free. Yeah, because the influence they have with the sponsors is not the same thing. We have end users. You must understand who are going to use the end product of this solution. If it's not what they want, if you are producing something different from what the end users want, this sponsor might not be happy with you. So that's why the typical stakeholders, when I say typical, is you cannot do without this kind of stakeholders. You can add other stakeholders in this stakeholders list, but you cannot remove any of these people because they are very important people. So once you've identified them, you need to classify them. Classification. You classify them so that it's going to be easy for you to manage them. If you do not classify them, it's likely you are going to use one template or you are going to use one format to manage all of them. And it's not going to work most of the time. You will always have frictions while trying to manage. So when you're trying to categorize them, the stakeholders need to be categorized based on their level of influence and their level of interest on the project. These are the two things here. You know, you can't manage everybody the same because everybody because they have the same interest. It's after all, everybody's in there, all of them are interested. Let all of them queue on the line. Everybody who has interest in this project should queue on the line. You'll be dishing it out to everybody. First come, first serve, because they all have interest. No. That's why we have VIP. You must give the VIP their seat, and it's highly recognized. And you cannot change it. If you come in a function, you can't say everybody here come to a function, everybody is here, they're all citizens of Lagos State, wherever anybody sees it, go and sit there because all of you are, then you are packing your bag even that day. That's when you are packing your bag. They invited you to organize a function, a rally, and you must put seats, the front seat, it has to be clearly labeled VIP, not just VIP, the governor. This is where the governor will sit. Then this is where the deputy governor is, president coming for this, and this is where the president and all the entourage from Abuja, this is where they are going to sit. Then this is where the senators who are going to come, then the commissioners, local government chairman, house of, you give them seats. Everybody has their own allocation of seats, traditional rulers. Everybody need. You cannot give a traditional ruler a seat where the president or where the governor is not going to work. You are going to be queried. You might even lose your job for doing that. It's the same approach you are going to apply in your project so you can have peace of mind when you go home and want to sleep. So that is it. Influence and interest, it has been there. If you go to British Airways, you want to travel from London to Nigeria, there are seats we call first class. You see people sitting there because they are high influence people. You can't say because everybody has boarded this flight, just sit where you want to sit. No, that's it. They pay the price. So, but for you to become high influence or become a sponsor, there is a price you have paid. And once you are not getting that recognition as someone who has paid out the price, then whoever is managing the project is going to enjoy the wrath of your anger. And when the person is enjoying the wrath of your anger, they will call the person a wicked man or a difficult stakeholder. Most of the cases, they are not difficult. You are the person making it difficult because you do not understand how to manage project, or you do not know how to manage stakeholders. If you are managing stakeholders very well, you find out there are no difficult stakeholders. It is inability to understand stakeholders and manage them that makes it like there are difficult stakeholders. I hope we are communicating. Okay. Then we have this common classification used in stakeholder management. We call them power and interest metrics. Like I say here, influence. Whenever we're talking about influence, we are talking about power. People who wield high influence are powerful people. You know, influence synonymous with power. And then interest, that's why it's called it power and interest metrics. In some cases, you hear power and interest grid. Power and interest grid is the same thing as power and interest matrix. So this is a technique, or you can call it a tool in stakeholder management. That has been the most powerful technique in stakeholder analysis. This will help you to classify some stakeholders based on their power and their influence, and then classify some based on their high power and their high interest, and classify some based on their low power and low interest. It's most of the time is a box, is a 4 boxes. In that boxes, we call some stakeholders like, this is the box 1, is these people have high power and high interest. That is the first box. These people with high power and high interest, for you to have peace of mind and have success in your project, actively engage them and manage them closely. You see, I said actively. And you start a project and they started shocking you. I just finished my BA bootcamp. I've landed a job as a business analyst. The pay is good. You don't send anybody again. You forget to actively manage these people. You say actively engage and manage them closely. You forgot this particular statement. And the next thing, you start having issues. The next thing you say, these people, they are racist people. Is it because I'm black? Nobody cares about your color. As a matter of fact, they already know you are a black before they hire you. So do not come and start saying, is it because I'm a black? They know. You go for interview. They see you. They hire you. And they come back and start saying, is it because you're a black? No, it's because you are failing to do what you're supposed to do. So the next thing here is, that's another group. That is another box. High power, low interest. Keep these people satisfied, but don't over communicate. Let me tell you, these people, high power, they have power. They have power to close that project you are managing or you are working on. They have power to shut it down. It's just a small piece of paper and that project will come down. You see, high power and low interest. They are very deadly sort of people. Why they are deadly sort of people? Because you see that this project is worth millions. Let's say billions. They don't send you. They don't care. You know, as long as we are not doing what we are supposed to do, they don't care. For instance, you've not gotten approval for that project, and you start the project, they're going to shut that project down. You know, there is a project, less from my own angle, which I've executed. This particular project is a very big filling station, very massive filling station. It involves a lot of money. But the issue here is that these people are building this filling station within the residential area. As a matter of fact, the filling station is sharing a fence with a residential house where a lot of people are living, which if there is any fire outbreak in that filling station, is going to kill a lot of people. You don't know when that kind of incident will happen. It might be in the midnight when everybody is sleeping and there is a fire outbreak. and it's going to kill people. And when they brought that on my table, I refused to approve. I refused to approve it. And they went on because they believe they have so much money. And they believe the council chairman is a small boy. Just ignore them. They start digging and digging and digging and laying pipe. And I went there and shut it down. They started looking, they went to governor, they went to every I know that everything is going to come down on my table, and I refuse to approve it. And that's how that a lot of money has to just got wasted, because they are very dafted. Because they think their money is more important than human life. No. You see, that is high power and low interest. I don't have interest in, a good book. That money, you want to make money, because every business is profitability. Their interest is profitability. That place is a very densely place where a lot of people are living, is bubbling. So they believe if they can cite this business here, is going to make them a lot of money. Money is their interest there. They don't care about human life. But me, their interest is different from my interest. My interest is to protect the lives and citizens of the local council. That is my interest. That is my job. And I was doing my job. So you see, their interest and my own interest is conflicting. And I have more power than them. And that's why this project couldn't go. Because if they had a good business analyst, the business analyst will, before even they start that project, will carry what we call environmental impact assessment to understand if that project could be sited on that ground. But they have the money, but they don't have the knowledge. They don't have the technical know-how. They don't know anything. Carrying out the environmental impact assessment will make them know that, yes, this project can be sited here. Another project, these people within my community, they discovered a cooking gas, that running into billions of dollars. And they could mine this in a very commercial quantity for the next 100 years. But if they start that operation, it's going to affect a lot of lives. People cannot farm. People cannot even have water to drink. A lot of things are going to be damaged within that community. And when they came to my office, I said, okay, carry out environmental impact assessment. And after the environmental impact assessment, I asked them, are you ready to pay for the damages? Are you ready to move these people to another place? Are you ready to give these people this amount of money? Are you ready to do this? After they've seen the impact, they left. Yeah. They have so much money. When I say so much, because they are a foreign company. So that is it. So when you are trying to handle a project, understand the interest, so many interests. If the interest is conflicting, then you're already having an issue. If you are starting a fintech in Nigeria, the first thing you need to do is what kind of license do I need from CBN? No matter how beautiful your application or your business idea, and you do not have that license, stop, promoting your business. Stop promoting, marketing your application, because you are not gonna go far. You are just wasting your money. So you see, these people, they don't need so much talk. Like, you don't, in my own case, I don't need so much talk to get approval. You don't need to write so much. You don't need to lobby. You don't need to do what you are supposed to do. For you to get a CBN license, you don't need so much communication. It's how to get CBN license for any of your application of your business. Is if you go to their website, it's clearly stated in one page. If you follow it, that's it. You don't need to start calling the CBN governor. You don't need to start calling the Minister of Finance. You don't just do that. So you don't need to over communicate. Keep them satisfied. Then we have another group of people who is here. You see, they have low power and they have high interest. So these people, they don't have power, but they are likely going to be the people to consume the outcome of that project or that product. They are very excited. They want to know the next release. They want to know how it is going to be used. They want to know the benefits for that particular. Yeah, very, very interesting. But they don't have any power. So this kind of people, all you need to do is keep them informed and consult regularly. For instance, now so many of us are using Facebook. We are enjoying Facebook. Do you know what Facebook is passing through in the hands of the stakeholders? Do you know how many times they drag them to court? Do you know how many times they want to shut them down? Do you know what the regulatory bodies, regulatory bodies, they want for them? Data breach this, data breach that. They keep on engaging them the way they need to engage them. Do you know how many apps they keep releasing? Do you know? So, but in our own case, all who are interested in this feature is coming. This is the benefit. What they do is, if you are following Facebook very well, I do see their updates all the time from Mark, the CEO. It will always come there to message us. We are adding a creators feature. This will help the content creators to be monetized, to make, hey, we start to rejoicing. Hey, we all now news everywhere, creators. These all of us who have low power. Any param, they will just remove you from there. They will even close your page. So, because we don't have power. So, this kind of people are low-powered people. How many of us are crying that Facebook closed our page? Why should Facebook close your page? It's because you are a low-powered stakeholders. You don't have power. You are high interest. You're always looking for free benefits from Facebook. You're always looking for giveaways. You're always looking for, so you are just looking for free things. They know they are there for us, but so this is it. Keep us informed about all the changes and what is going on, but yeah, that is it. That's what they need. At times they will tell us, give us a form to fill, kind of survey. Yeah, something like that. Then we'll have some people here who are low power and low interest. Can you see this kind of people? They do not have power and they do not even have interest. and they are in that project. They are called stakeholders. And these are the people you work with in your project. These kind of people are in your team. They are the project team members. Some of them are developers. Have you worked with developers before? Developers, most of the time you see that they don't really have interest. All they want is the money, money. So they can jump. That's why a project who is causing you sleepless nights, you see a key developer will abandon that project and join another project because they increase the pay for the other project and abandon the, because if it's a high interest, there's no way he's going to abandon it because it's a low interest and it doesn't have power. It doesn't have power because you yourself, you have power to sack them. As the project manager, have power to sack them if they mess up. If you go to construction sites, you are going to see a lot of people called laborers. You are going to see electricians. You are going to see bricklayers. All these people, they belong to this group, low power, low interest. You see them, electricians, they will come to work by 10 o'clock. As they are unpacking their bags, they will go and smoke, call it fag break. After fag break, they will go and drill 2 holes. They will go for lunch break. They come back from lunch break. They drill another hole. They will go back again for another fag break. They will come back. They will fix one thing. They will start packing their bag. They are gone. They don't want to do anything. They just want to be coming there to be earning money. They want to drag this project. This project is supposed to be for 6 months. They want a situation whereby they can drag this project to last for 1 year so that they can have a site. They will be going to work every day. That is their interest. Their interest is to have where to go every morning, pack their bag and go there and waste time and come back. If you do not monitor these people, they are not going to do the job. So you have to keep monitoring them, keep asking them for updates, trying to see what they are doing. Then you can push them to do their job. The same thing with developers. Most of the developers I work with, I keep chasing them. I keep sending messages. What have you done? I have not seen it. Where is it? Where are you guys? You know, because so many of them, they have so many other jobs. They are freelancers. As you are finishing meeting with them, you are having another meeting with another client. If they are finishing, so it's whoever gives them more disturbance, they are tend to do their person's job. So these are all the stakeholders in a project. And you see, if the way I ask you to manage all of them differently, if you swap the communication, for instance, you see, I say low power, low interest. Monitor, but communicate minimally. You swap and use monitor, but communicate minimally and put it to high power, high interest. And you start monitoring them and communicate minimally. Is it going to work? Of course, you are inviting problem for yourself. So that is exactly how this works. So analyze expectation and influence. Each stakeholder assess their expectation and potential concern and the influence they will on the project, which I've explained. This will help in prioritizing stakeholders and identify their strategies for engagement Develop a communication and engagement plan. Tailor communication plan to manage each stakeholder group effectively, and define the frequency and content of communication based on their need and influence. So that is it, the way you are going to manage all these stakeholders, whether which group they are. Okay, so you look at this diagram here. These are 5 ways. Number 1, brainstorm the individuals and group who may have stake in the project. 2, sort them by their power and interest. 3, plot them in power and interest matrix. And 4, identify the gap between current and desired involvement level. 5, create and manage the ongoing communication. Yeah. You see, after this number 3, that's when you plot them in the boxes where they belong. But over time, you find out you're having issues with the stakeholders. Over time, you are bound to have issues with your stakeholders. That is when you start complaining that some stakeholders are wicked, some stakeholders are difficult. No, all you need to do is try to identify the gap. There must be something missing. That is what we call gap. And that's what you do, call it gap analysis in stakeholder management. So if you have done your gap analysis, you must always find maybe this particular stakeholder, you made a mistake. You start managing them like the way you are managing stakeholders with low power and low interest. That is the gap. All you need to do is correct the management strategy, and things will work out when you carry out. You must always have a communication plan. Don't close your eyes, have a communication plan. So if you want to solve them, like I said, you might use this kind of diagram. This is called affinity diagram. Under this affinity diagram, you see these particular stakeholders. You see, this is the organization, and this is the project. You see the project here? So inside the organization, this is a project. You might have different projects like this, up to even 10 projects going on within the organization. And within the organization, you see this is the project leader and the project team member. This is you and your team in that project. You see that inside the organization, some people are external stakeholders inside this project. So anybody who is not inside this project is an external person. So these are external person, senior management, they're all external people, finance, they're all external people in this project, but it's within the organization. So, but you can equally have other stakeholders who are external in the organization, and these are so when you are talking about external with the organization, you can say customers because they are not within the organization. And when you have this kind of people, then the people within the organization, you can then call them internal stakeholders because they are within the organization. So these are different ways to understand stakeholders. Most people within the organization might have higher interest because they are working within the organization. But some people within the organization, mind you, they will not even have interest. The highest thing is that you lose your job and they get a new project manager. Somebody like a finance manager here who is releasing money might want, depending the way the organization runs. For instance, in public sectors, before they can release money for your project, you must show evidence of how you have spent the last money released to you and what you have used it to achieve before releasing more funding. It happens a lot in public sectors, even in local government. So in this kind of situation, you might want to go and for more releases, and the finance manager will just turn you out of his office because you are not doing what you are supposed to do. And you say that he's a wicked man. No, he's not wicked, because there are millions of projects, thousands, hundreds of projects. He has been releasing money, and all he wants to do is that, because as he's releasing money, at some point, auditors will want to come and see how he's releasing money. And if he's releasing money and is not monitoring how the money is being used, they will just say that he's conniving with the project managers to be siphoning company's money. So when he's becoming very disciplined or strict about releasing money for you without proper documentation, you might call him a wicked man. But no. So the main thing, some of us were very quick to calling people name without understanding the underlying factors. So once you get the stakeholders, you might use a sheet or a table like this to sort them. Under here, you see this column called stakeholders. Write the name of the stakeholders, and you write their position in the organization, if they are within the organization, and you write their role in the project. You state their power, yeah, whether they are high power, then you state their level of awareness, then you state the level of interest, and you state the level of support. Yeah, that's how you do it. So the metrics I've been talking about, this is how the metrics looks like. Power and interest metrics. Looking at this diagram, this is how power and interest metrics looks. Okay, you see here, you see power. This is power. You see it here. So means that this is high power. All these boxes on top are high power, meaning that this one, understand, is high power, and the engage is high power. What is it telling you? Under power, it says, understand these people with high power and satisfy their need. These are with high power as well. You say, these people with high power, engage them and manage them actively. Yeah. So if you come down here on this box below here, you see interest. Under this, you see this interest, you see some boxes here belongs to low interest. This is low interest. All the boxes at this side is low interest. It's interest, low interest. Then all the boxes at this side, you see high, is high interest. It means that this is high interest, defenders high interest, and engage is high interest. It means that monitor is low interest and understand is low interest. What it means, this understand, we call it context setter. These are people with red jackets. They are high power and they are low interest. These people, they are high power and they are high interest. These people, they are low power and they are low interest. These people, they are low power and they are high interest. And that is it. That's how. So when you understand every stakeholder, chuck them in the box that they're supposed to be. Once you add all the stakeholders where they be, then you might find out that in these key players, you might have up to 2 to 3 stakeholders who fall into these key players. Develop a communication pattern to manage all of them the same way. Then you find out all the stakeholders within this high power and low power, all of them, put them in these boxes. These people can be, let's say, local authority. These people can be another people is let's say health and safety officers. These people can be CBN officers. These people can be all the regulatory body, data protection officers. All of them, most of them are regulators. Yeah. So you keep them here. Then you see here, crowd. So all the people with low power and low interest, we call them crowd. Under here, you can see you have, for instance, in a construction site, we have electricians, we have laborers, we have bricklayers, we have plumbers. All of them are crowd. You put them here, you know, and something like that. And here, defenders. Some of these people might be customers, people using the software in the organization to do their job on daily basis. All of them, you keep them here. So you made this job so easy for you. All you need to do is develop 4 strategic communication methods, 1 for each group, and that's it. You see you have a high turnaround. So that is it. So we're going to use the kind of template we're going to use is going to look like this. It will look like this, where you have, after you must have added them where they are and start managing them. This is the current and this desired. Over time, you find out there is a friction. Things are not working the way they are. So, for instance, the stakeholders are not supporting you. Some stakeholders are not supporting you, which you feel that they need to support you. You come and find out why they are not supporting you. Try to see what you've done. For instance, you say, are they aware under awareness or transparency? Yeah, this is called aware. Are they aware of what you are doing? For instance, look at this as an example. You see here, we check this box. They are aware of every decision you've carried out. And because of that, that is why they are supporting you. If they are not aware, they might not be supporting you. So you must make sure you tick the right box of what is going on between you and them. So that is the way to start getting their support. If you have not been getting their support, you need to use a table like this to do stakeholder gap analysis, which we are going to jump in now and start doing. We are going to start using the table, which I will share with you after we'll finish. So this is it here. This is a screenshot of it here. We're going to jump into it and do some exercise when we will finish. So this is communication action sheet. You must develop a communication plan using this communication action sheet, and you must always carry out a gap analysis periodically to see who is supporting you, who is not supporting you, and make sure the ultimate goal is that you are getting support from every stakeholders. And let's look at this example from Futraco. FoodTrackle expansion project aim to extend FoodTrackle's multi-vendor food and grocery delivery platform from Rivers State to other states in Nigeria. The project requires the involvement of various stakeholders, each with specific expectation, influence, and communication need. So these are all the stakeholders in these projects. Yeah, this is a food delivery company. So stakeholder one here is the FoodTrackle executive team and their role and interest. Here you see this is project sponsor, is where the project sponsor belongs. You capture their expectation. What is the expectation? High return on investment and successful market entry into the new zone. Their influence is high and engagement strategy. This kind of people regularly update them and strategy alignment. You have stated the engagement strategy. So that is it for executive team of FoodTrackle. Then we'll have vendors. You find out the way you are going to handle vendors is different from the way you handle the project sponsor. Vendor, these are like restaurants and grocers. You know, under these people, they are service providers. That is their interest to provide services. The expectation, what are they expecting when a restaurant join a food delivery company like Uber? What are they expecting, like Uber and FoodTrackle? They want to make more sales. That's their main purpose of joining. So their expectation is to increase sales, efficient onboarding process. They want to join the platform so easily. Then their influence cannot be the same influence with the project sponsor. So it's either medium or low. We will capture medium. So engagement strategy. These people, all they want is to make sure that they understand how to use the platform very well so that they can start getting more sales. That is their interest. So the way you communicate with them is training session. You need to keep training them and onboarding them. That is communication. You don't need to be sending them reports. They don't need the reports. But these particular people, regular update. Regular update is through reports, reporting what is going on. Then we'll have local government agencies. These are regulatory agencies. You know, their own here is compliance with state regulation, and they have high power. The way you communicate with them is compliance report and regular consultation. What is compliance? You are a food delivery company. Do you have the license to carry out this business? Did you register with the relevant authorities? That is it. So you don't need to be sending them reports that you have entered successfully into the new market or you have acquired how many. They are not interested in that. Compliance report like CAC report, every compliance report, that's what they want to. If you need to paste it in your office or your delivery people need to paste it in their delivery van, that is what they want. And then you see customers. Customers, their role here is end use. They are end users of the platform. They are the people using it. You know, these people are, that is the expectation is for the company to be reliable. That's what they're expecting from you. That if they order for food, let the food be delivered to them. They want convenient service. They order food and they want that food to be delivered by 12 because they are having a birthday party and they need to use that food by 1 o'clock. They want that food to be delivered at convenient service and affordable fee. They want to be, customers are looking for affordable fee. That's what they want. And these kind of people, they are, in this way, you can say they are high because if they stop using, the business might go down. So not all the customers are low power. In this regard, they are high. So indirectly, yeah, they are high because they are paying money. They are not just like ordinary Facebook customers. These people are paid customers. They paid to get a service. In Facebook, most customers there are there to look for free. Most of the things customers are looking for Facebook: free news, free gossip, free giveaway, monetization. So it's gain. But here, people are paying money to buy, so that's why they are high. So these customers, communication with them, customer feedback. Anytime you communicate, they buy a product, try to get a feedback from them, understand their feelings, and know how to. If they are not happy, then you need to work hard to make them happy. So marketing team, their own is promotion and outreach. And their expectation is clear campaign goals. If you want a campaign, it must be clear campaign goal and resources for this campaign. Their power is medium, and the communication is weekly progress update, resource allocation. Then logistics partner. These people are delivery providers, and these people, the expectation is timely and predictable demand, and their power is medium. And these people contract, the way you communicate with them is through contract agreement and scheduled meeting. So they are logistics, they call them partners. Whenever you want to partner with somebody, you need is a contract, you need to write agreement and terms of the contract. And then you have development team. These are the developers who are building the platform. You need a clear requirement, clear implementation for them to understand. These people, they are high because these are where even the project manager would, even the BAs. In so many cases, some of them, they might not have high power. So you see, if you don't have clear requirements, you are not going to get anything meaningful from them. You see these people, weekly meeting, testing feedback and session. That's the way you communicate. These are your team we work with. Then you have finance team. Finance team, the project financier, they bring the money. Their expectation is budget control and return on investment. They want to see the budget, how the resource utilization goes, and high power. And budget review, the way you communicate them, budget review, periodic financial reporting, so that they continue to release money for you. If they don't see this kind of budget review and periodic financial of how the utilization of resources go, they might be hesitant to release more funding for you. And these people, operations team, these are day-to-day activities. You see them day-to-day platform management. All they want is smooth handover and comprehensive training. And these people, they are either they don't have power, or because the platform being developed, they are going to be using it on daily basis. So they are the end users of this platform you guys are developing. And training session, you need to train them on how to use the platform very well, and create effective documentation. So that's that's it. So looking at power and interest for FoodTrackO, you see here high interest and high power. You know, and you see low power and high interest. So under high power, high interest, whom do we have here? We have FoodTrackO executive team, we have development team, and we have customer. So we have three group of people under high power and high interest. Then under low power and high interest, we have vendors, we have marketing team, and then we have under low, high power and low interest, we have finance team, local government agency, that is high power, low interest. Then this one is low interest and low power. This is it here. This is it here. Low power and low interest. I will have this is low interest and low power, low interest. We have logistics partner and we have operations team. And this is high interest and low power. These are vendors and marketing team. So that is, you see them the way they are. All these people are the people with power and high interest. They are the people you give the highest attention. Then these people are going to spoil show for you if you do not give them what they want. They don't need over communication. And these people, you need to always communicate them, monitor them. Yeah. And these people equally need to monitor them effectively. So these are the way you can put this power grid here in this kind of project. Yeah. So this table here, you see here, we explain this table here. And that's it here. High power, low interest, manage closely. High power, so high power, high interest, manage closely. High power, low interest, keep satisfied. Low power, high interest, keep informed. Low power, low interest, monitor. And that's it. So if you can adopt this in your project management as a business analyst, it will help you to understand stakeholders very well, because you are going to need stakeholders. Like I said, before anybody join or before any major work is done in any project, you, the business analyst, is going to be the first person to go and do the work. In so many cases, you are not even going to see the project manager until you finish doing the work. So engagement and communication plan. To address each stakeholder's expectation, and engagement, the following engagement strategies are recommended. So, looking at our food tracker expansion, executive team, weekly project status update, and monthly meeting for strategic alignment. For vendors, training session on platform use, support resources during onboarding, and weekly newsletters. We already explained this thing in the table above. Under the local government agencies, compliance documents submitted monthly, ad hoc meeting for any regulatory inquiries. For customers, post-launch customer survey, promotional emails, and social media campaign to increase engagement. And for marketing team, weekly status updates, clear KPI setting, and access to promotional resources. For logistics partners, monthly meeting to discuss demand expectation and peak time and delivery forecast. That's for logistics partners. And then for development team, regular agile meeting, sprint review, and UAT session. Yeah, so that is the meetings during the project. Sprint review, and the UAT means user acceptance testing of every feature you develop. And sprint review is the meeting you have with the stakeholders at the end of every sprint. So we are going to treat sprint as a project, as the agile as a project methodology. But when we get to that stage, you need to break all these sprints and agile and the rest of them. So for now, we can't dive in because these are big topics. So, but the under development team, regular agile meeting, sprint review, and UAT. Under finance team, monthly budget and spending review, you need to show them how you have been spending the budget for them to understand the resource utilization. Yeah, that is the only way they will continue to fund the project. Stakeholder analysis is essential to identify and manage the expectations, need, and concerns of all the parties involved in the project. For this food tracker expansion project, you see the effective stakeholder management will be crucial in achieving a smooth and successful expansion. And here, the power and interest matrix and communication plan provides a structured approach to managing the key stakeholders, ensuring that each party is appropriately engaged and informed throughout the project life cycle. So it's important that every stakeholder, as a matter of fact, stakeholder management is not a one-off activity, and that's one some of us mistake. Some of us, once you engage stakeholder, once you go and relax and say, I've done my stakeholder analysis. No, the stakeholder analysis document you created is not a one-off activity. You create it, but that is what is going to help you for continuous management of stakeholders throughout the project life cycle. You need to keep them informed. You need to keep communicating them. You need to be documenting all the information, all the meeting log, everything interaction and communication you have with the stakeholder, no matter how small the stakeholder, it's important that you document it very well. And stakeholder management or stakeholder analysis is extremely very important to you, business analyst, as is important to project manager. Some people will think that stakeholder analysis is the business of the project manager. No, it's the business of everybody in that project, because you need to understand, as well as starting a project, you need to understand whom you engage with. The person the project manager is engaging with is different from the person you are engaging with. So you cannot tell the project manager, give me your stakeholder analysis document so that I can use it. If the project manager gives you the one he's using, it might not be very much beneficial to you because it's tailored to project manager stakeholder engagement. It's not tailored to business analyst stakeholder engagement. That's why you have to make sure you develop your own stakeholder management documents. Don't wait for project manager to use the one the project manager have developed, or the time the project manager is developing, the project manager is not having you in his or her mind. He's trying to plan how he's going to engage with stakeholders. And you know that it's a different role. The way he engages is different from the way you engage. He monitors, he plans, but you investigate, you ask questions, you gather requirements, you analyze them. You can see these are two different roles. So all this food travel is an expository, how it looks like. You can take time, go through it, understand. It's a case study of a stakeholder engagement. And then this is going to be a template. This template we are going to use for stakeholder management is very simple and will help you to capture everything in one document. Very easy to manage. So this is a template you can use anyhow you want in your organization. I've taken this to so many places I've worked and they appreciated it. So you can, once I share it, you can download it and start using it the way you want. So you see here in this, we have the stakeholders. This is where you add the name of the stakeholders. You must put their name. Then when you put their name, you come here, you put their position. So whatever position they are, if their position is a CFO of that organization, put CFO. If, for instance, is a local government chairman, you put local government, or is it CBN auditor, or is it health and safety officer, you put their position here. Or is it data protection or data CIO, whichever their position, you put it here. Then you come to this project, you put their role. What role? You can see here that this person is Mr. Charles. He's the chief financial officer of this organization. And his role here is the person sponsoring this project. He becomes the project sponsor. Because he's the project sponsor, it's expected that he should have a high power, which I always say from the beginning, I tried to emphasize on the sponsorship. Sponsor are the people that make this project to happen. So they are high-powered people in that project. That's why you capture them as high. So in this template, you see you have a drop-down to make things easy. You click on the drop-down, you select medium, low. So this one is high. And you come here, you say aware. Aware means, you see here, the role and involvement level, meaning that What are the involvement level? What the level of involvement should this person be in this project? Aware here means the level of awareness. So is he supposed to be aware of everything that's happening here? That level of yes. You see? Yes. And somehow, if you don't have that, yes means that nothing should come to him as a surprise. Every decision, he must be aware of every decision, not somehow. So we click yes. Then interest. What is the level of interest? Is he supposed to be yes. He's the sponsor here. It should be high power, you know, and high interest. So we capture yes here. So not somehow. High power, the level of interest is very interested, high interest in this project. You come here, you say supportive. What is the level of support? Is he supposed to be support? Do you want to enjoy his support? Highly, the highest support you need to succeed in this project. You need it from this person. Yes, not somehow. So that is how it's supposed to be. Anything going forward, if you are going forward, maybe as you are progressing the first month, the second, you are approaching the second month of this project, and you are deviating from this agreement you set for yourself. You see role and involvement level. You see here, this person, this is the role and involvement level. You see here, you might capture another stakeholder in the second line, and you give the person low power. You can see they are not in the same level. So make sure you keep to this agreement. Anytime you are taking a decision and this Mr. Charles is not aware of that decision, then that should be an indicator that you are inviting trouble yourself. You are the one who is going to invite that trouble. Nobody is inviting the trouble. Automatically, when he's not aware of what you are doing, the level of interest will start shaking. You might call him in a meeting and he will snub you, meaning that he's not happy. So when he starts snubbing you, are affecting his interest. This person that's supposed to be highly interested, the level of support you enjoy from him will start going down. And it will start going down till the support disappears. So this is the involvement level you set now. You set the pace. So going forward, this is what you are going to do. So you see here, as I'm moving. So now you set the standard. You are going to use this standard to evaluate your current, this is today. Today is 1 month after this project have started. I set the standard, all of us saw the standard I set, and I come now. Is this man aware of the decision I took? Is he aware? You have to be honest with yourself. If he's not aware of any decision you take, you click here unaware. Unaware. But if he's aware, you come here, you click aware. You cannot click unaware and aware at the same time. It doesn't work. You must choose one. If he's unaware, then there's no need of you claiming that he's aware. You must state one. So then you come here and say level of interest. Interested? Yeah, you need to state they are trying to use this to evaluate against the standard you set. He's supposed to be interested, but you are not seeing the interest in him. He's supposed to be interested, but he's not showing interest. This is a sign for you. If you tell him you want to gather requirement for you, then he's now telling you that he's going for a leave and he doesn't want to come back. You will start panicking. You must find why he's not showing you. Some of you will say his attitude. He's always showing attitude. You must understand why he's showing attitude. And are you enjoying the level of support here? Because he's not aware. Then here you see supportive. No, he's not supporting you. So this is how it should be when he's not aware of what you are doing. This is likely going to be the case here. All this here, you are not going to say is going to be blank. So this is the current where you are. When you have this kind of situation in your gap analysis, then you know there is a problem for you. You need to work hard to make sure this man is now aware of things you are doing. And this is what is going to bring you from current state where you are to desire. Desire is what you want to get. You want to get his support. So for you to get the support, what do you need to do? You move from unaware to aware. Everything you do, you must be aware of everything. Close engagement. And once he's aware of what you are doing, the level of interest will increase. And definitely you start enjoying his support again. This is what you want for your projects to be in good shape with your stakeholder. So you are now from difficult stakeholder to non-difficult stakeholder because we're enjoying support from him. You find out that this kind of person, because you are carrying him along, you are telling him everything that happened in the project. Yes, he's supposed to know. You are not doing him a favor. He might even invite you for a drink during the weekend. You go to pub, yeah, because he's happy. Yeah, so this is the way it should be. And then we move forward. You come within the same sheet. You see, you use this document to capture a lot of things. Then you come here. This is now another segment in this stakeholder analysis template. So you come here, you see communication action plan or communication method. Now you see this, Mr. Charles, the method of communication is email. Mr. Charles say, this is my method of communication. Send me email every Friday. That is method of communication. So who is supposed to be sending this email? You say it's either the responsibility of project manager or you as a business analyst. Whom do you report to? You know, the person the project manager reports to is different from the person you report to. For instance, if you are a project manager, you might, project manager is likely to be reporting or should be reporting to the project sponsor. But the business analyst might not be reporting to the, depending on your level as a business analyst. As a normal business analyst, you should be reporting to a senior business analyst. So it might be the senior business analyst that should be reporting directly to the project sponsor. So So you understand whose responsibility. So you don't go and start fighting. In some case, you find out that you as a business analyst, you have to report to the project manager. Then it's now the duty of the project manager to report to the project sponsor. So the method of reporting, the hierarchy should always be established. You know whom you are reporting to. So, but the main thing, you know whom you are, the method of reporting, email, frequency, he said 1 week. So if the method of communication agreed is email, do not start calling the man on phone. They might not like it. So follow the pattern, follow the agreed method. So that is email. If it's email, you must get his email address. Every week, once in every week, send him a report through email. And that is it. That is email here. And anytime you send reports to him, you must try to understand the feedback, because every communication is 2 ways. When you send email or updates and there is no response, it should feel consigned. It means the person is snubbing you, and you must find out why there is no response. Maybe they're already planning on how to get rid of you in that company. So don't just relax. You send the report and you didn't get any feedback. You must get a feedback, either yes or no, good or we're not happy. You must get a feedback, or we wanted this, we must get a feedback. Anytime you get a feedback, log it here. And that's it. So that is how you continue to manage your stakeholders continuously. Yeah. So is now the question and answer time. So understanding stakeholder management is the basics for you business analysts, because the requirements you are going to gather, you're not going to gather requirements from Wikipedia, and you are not going to gather requirements from ChatGPT. You are not going to gather requirement. The main important requirement is going to come from the stakeholder. And that's why you must understand how to identify the right stakeholders and their expectation. Understand the high power, the low power, the high interest, the low interest, the external stakeholders, the internal stakeholders. Yeah. So if you have any question, raise your hand and I will call you. Any question from anybody? Are we all sleeping? All right. Thank you for joining tonight, and I'm going to make sure I share the lesson notes and the stakeholder analysis templates. You can use the template anyhow. I've used it in so many companies I've been to, and it was very handy. So very, very handy.